Good evening, Love Bay family, and welcome to the Mental Health Hour on Love Bay Afrobeat Music and Talk Radio. Tonight is a special night because this is our final live episode of 2025. Come on. As we close out the year, we wanted to hold space for reflection, honesty, and growth. And I can't think of a more powerful way than what with tonight's conversation. I'm your host, Felicia Fishoff, registered psychotherapist and founder of Rooted in Resilience, Psychotherapy, and Wellness, where we believe that healing happens in relationship, that our stories matter, and that we are allowed to grow without carrying everything alone. This is the Insight Hour, and tonight's topic is the walls we build, why we don't let people help us. Many of us have learned to be strong, independent, and self sufficient, sometimes at the cost of connection. Tonight, we're unpacking where those walls come from, how they protect us, and when they begin to limit us. I'm honored to be joined by an incredible guest this evening, Roxanne Francis. Roxanne is an award winning psychotherapist, registered social worker, consultant, leadership coach, and international speaker with over 15 years of experience, helping people access tools to create meaningful changes in their lives. She is the founder and CEO of Francis Psychotherapy and Consulting Services, where she leads a group practice, supervises clinicians, and consults with organizations on topics including workplace mental health, burnout, racial trauma, diversity, equity and inclusion, women's wellness, and mental health in the Black community. Roxanne is also the founder of the Therapist Lounge, a Canadian conference that supports therapists in private practice through community, wellness, and business development. Because guess what? As caregivers, we need care too. In addition, she is an adjunct professor at the University of Toronto's School of Social Work. She was recognized as one of Canada's 100 Black women to watch and is a sought after media contributor featured in outlets such as Essence Magazine, Today's Parent, CTV, CBC News, and Breakfast Television. Roxanne, girl, I'm so excited. But before we begin, a quick reminder. This show is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for therapy or professional mental health care. If today's conversation brings anything up for you, we encourage you to reach out to a qualified mental health professional or a trusted support person. And to our dear listeners, the chat is open. We invite you to join the conversation tonight, share your reflections, and engage respectfully with one another like we always do. And if this conversation resonates, please feel free to invite your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your auntie. You get the point. So, healing is often more powerful when it's shared, especially in our communities. So, let's break bread together tonight and step into this conversation with curiosity, compassion, and courage. Let's talk about the walls we build and what becomes possible when we begin to let them down. Roxanne, girl, how you doing?
I am good. What a welcome. What a
Yes.
welcome. Thank
Oh,
you so
girl.
much for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, girl. You know, this has been a long time coming from day one, right?
Yes. We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming.
Oh, my goodness. Trust me, when I was like, Roxanne, you can come on my show. And she's like, of course. I was like, yes, I'm so excited. When I tell you, Love Bay family, like I love this woman more than cook food. I tell you, I tell her every time I'm on a chat with you, I said, boy, I may love you more than cook food. And I love cook food. If you guys see my hips, you know I love cook food, right? So I love cook food.
Love
So,
you right back, Felicia.
yeah. So welcome, my dear. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
I love to start off these conversations by asking, why does the Love Bay family need to be talking about this topic tonight? And especially in light of the holidays.
In light of the holidays, okay, so first of all,
Mhm.
we most of us, I can't speak for all of the Love Day family and where people are listening in, but a lot
Mhm.
of the people that I connect with and communicate with are in the Western world. And the Western world has become more and more sort of individualized over time. We've lost the concept of big community, we've lost the concept of the village. And
Yeah.
so there is this sense of I can do it all by myself,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And particularly over the holidays,
Yeah.
over the holidays, there is, first of all, the economy is all over the place,
Mhm.
right? People are struggling with bills, people are struggling with responsibilities.
Mhm.
There are things that we need to take care of with family.
Yeah.
And many people are saying it's a lot. I'm overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. I feel drained. Yet we hesitate to ask for help. And
Mhm.
when we don't ask for help, the overwhelm becomes unbearable.
Yes,
And people
absolutely.
crack under the pressure,
Girl, you trust me.
right? People crack under the pressure. People, if you're not careful, psychosis can come
Yeah.
knocking, right? When we take on too much, when we don't know how to say no, when we don't know how to ask for help. And so it's really, really important that we start having this conversation around asking for help and what that can look like.
Absolutely. Why do you think we hesitate?
Well, there are there are multiple reasons, right?
Mhm.
One reason that I can think of off the top of my head is um, some people are born in, you know, spaces and families where there isn't a lot to go around.
Yeah.
And when you are a child and you see your parents struggle to keep a roof over your head or to keep food on the table,
Mhm.
then you kind of get this sense of don't ask for anything,
Mhm.
don't stress out the parents, don't say you need,
Yeah.
don't say you want,
Mhm.
and just fly under the radar and go undetected and don't create any. They're already stressed out enough as it is.
Yeah.
Don't create any fuss. Don't let them have to worry about you.
Mhm.
And so a lot of people learn to just get really quiet,
Mhm.
cover their needs, pretend they don't need anything,
Mhm.
and just make do with, sometimes less than the bare essentials.
Yes.
And so we grow up with, unfortunately, with this um, scarcity mindset can come from multiple places, but this is one of the reasons, this is one of the places
Yeah.
that a scarcity mindset can come from. And so
Yes.
we grow up with this scarcity mindset around
Mm.
there definitely isn't enough to go around. And
Yeah.
if I ask someone for help, it is going to become an inconvenience to them.
Yeah.
And so I refuse to become an inconvenience for other people. And
Mhm.
so I'm just going to hide and pretend that
Mhm.
I don't need anything. I'm going to pretend
Mhm.
that I don't need help. So that's
Mhm.
one of the places that
Mhm.
this issue can come from.
Absolutely.
Um, Another place that this issue can come from is asking for help and being hurt by it, right? When
That
you
part.
ask somebody to
Yeah.
lend you money to cover whatever it is that you need to cover, and then you had to hear from it from, 6 degrees of separation,
Mhm.
right? And you thought, oh, I thought this thing was
Yeah.
confidential. And you become really hurt. And then you say, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm never asking for anyone for help again. I will
Yes.
do everything myself. I will die under the weight of the pressure of doing it myself
Mhm.
before I put myself into that place again.
Yeah.
And that's just, um, you know,
Mm.
our bodies and minds are designed to protect us,
Yeah.
right? And so that's just one way of protecting yourself emotionally, where we don't ask for help.
Mhm.
Another reason that we don't ask for help, again from protection,
Yeah.
is if you find yourself completely without resources,
Mhm.
and you now have to uh, make what's what I'm looking for,
Mhm.
make an exchange that doesn't sit well with your soul, right?
Yes.
Or make a dangerous exchange, right? You're going to help me and I'm going to put myself in danger. I'm going to stay in this um, harmful relationship because the other person is helping
Mhm.
me. Then when you come out of that relationship, you decide, never putting myself in that position again. I'm never asking for help again.
Mhm.
And so we don't ask for help.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, you just drop all the dumpling one time. All right. I'm like, whoa, we got a lot to sift through because you just drop like I mentioned, so much dumpling. And I think we got to break this down because, boy, that was good. That was delicious. Thank you.
Mhm.
I love that you mentioned our family of origin experiences, right? Because I
Mhm.
think sometimes we just think of our childhood as it just being our childhood, you just pass through, but really it impacts us even as adults, right? As
Mhm.
you know, like, our past experiences, it changes our view of ourselves. It can impact our view of our relationships, right? And so I love that you were talking about just even watching our parents struggle, right? And not wanting to either be like a burden to them,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And I think there's also like a fear of disappointment in there.
Yes, 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 yes. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes we feel like there's this idea, as you were speaking, there's this idea of weakness, or they will perceive me as weak if I ask for help, and I don't want to disappoint them. I want them to be proud of
Yeah.
me. I want them to see me as amazing.
Hmm.
Um, and asking for help is somehow um, portraying weakness, or portraying that I can't do this thing by myself. And you know, as adults as we are, as old as we get, many of us just want our parents to be proud of us,
100%.
and we feel like if we do ask for help, then we're robbing ourselves and we're robbing them of this pride that they could have in us. And so let me just pretend
Mm,
like I'm okay, even though I'm shaking under the weight of it all.
absolutely. So it's like a shame culture, right? Like, but it's
Yes.
it's not always like spoken. Often it's very unspoken, but it's
Mm-mm.
really it is. Boy, don't bring shame to the family.
Don't bring shame to the family, right? Go manage it by yourself, right?
Yeah,
Go figure it out,
yeah.
right? Don't ask anybody. Don't tell anybody that you're struggling. Don't let me feel ashamed,
Hmm.
right? And this idea of you asking for help, it's almost as though it's causing the family
Hmm.
to look bad, especially if the family is a proud one,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
There's this idea of how are we going to look in the community,
Hmm.
and that's heavy
Yeah.
for someone to carry. That's a heavy burden. We shouldn't be putting that on each other.
Absolutely. And I think that there's like even like birth order, right?
Hmm.
There's all of these different nuances even within like the family system. Like if you're the eldest,
Hmm.
you are the go-to for a
Yes.
lot of the things. There's always the
Yes.
joke of the middle child. Nobody pays attention to the middle child, but I
That's
see you,
right.
middle children. I see you. you know and then there's the baby. I'm a baby of my family, so I
Yep.
am
All
care
the
the
needs are
the
met. Yes.
carefree one.
Yes. Yes. Everyone makes sure that you're fine,
Yeah.
right? And you get all the freedom in the
Mhm.
world,
Well, I don't know
right?
about
So
all
there's,
the freedom, but
well, true, true. But you're right. Not all the freedom, but sometimes, parents can sometimes be harder
yeah,
on the eldest child, and by
yeah,
the time they get to like third, fourth, fifth child, it's just like whatever. I'm just tired.
yeah,
You have another piercing,
yeah.
okay?
You're like, wait, what happened? Oh, oh.
Yes.
When did you get that? Oh,
When did that happen?
we see you also, eldest children. We
Yes,
see. What's
yes,
your
yes.
birth order, Roxanne?
Me, I'm the last of
You're the
three.
last
I'm
of
also
three.
the
Oh,
baby, the wash belly.
the wash. Hey. All right, all right. Eldest children, please don't get salty. We love you.
Yes, I know. We love you too.
You paved the way for us. You made a way for us. Thank
That's right.
you. We appreciate you. We see you too. But
Yes, yes.
there's these additional layers of pressure. Even in I work
Mhm,
with clients also, especially when their eldest children are like, yeah, this I'm the go-to. Like, if there's anything, it has to be me. Like,
mhm.
so. But because I'm the go-to, I have no one to turn to for help.
Right, right. And you also feel like you can't show weakness. You feel like you can't ask for help.
Yeah.
I can't crack under the pressure. Everyone's looking at me.
Hmm.
Everyone's, you know, um, there is this, also too, what I have seen as well is if the youngest, or the how do I put this, sometimes the children in the family, they might go wayward for whatever reason, and maybe all the hopes of the parent is pinned on one particular child,
Yeah.
And so everyone's waiting on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of pressure that comes with that, right? On
Yes.
their shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they also feel like they can't ask for help
Yeah.
because they're now the golden child,
Mm-hmm.
right? What does that say if I have to ask for help,
Absolutely. And then,
right?
the competition between the siblings. How come you can't be more like this one?
Yes. Right. 100%. 100%. Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot. And so a lot of children learn just from paying attention to the family dynamics
absolutely.
that I can't ask for help.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they're shamed if they're asking for help,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
You should be able to do that by yourself.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't understand? I'm not helping you with your homework.
Yeah.
You're supposed to know that by now. Or when your sibling was this age, they knew that by now, or they could do it by themselves. I'm not helping you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you internalize this thing around, oh, asking for help must be a bad thing.
Yes.
Or when I was asked for help, I was shamed for asking for help. So I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And it really sets us up for a life of pressure and this sense of overwhelm when we carry everything by ourselves, and we're not meant to do that. We're
100%.
meant to exist in community. We're meant to carry each other's burdens and offer each other mutual support.
Mm-hmm.
But if you pull away,
Yeah.
then you're inadvertently robbing yourself of that support.
Yeah.
It becomes too burdensome.
Yes.
We end up with we open up ourselves to a host of mental health concerns.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you grow up and you have your own children, all of that gets trickled down to them too. They don't deserve that.
100%. I know that we're talking a lot about the family system, but this message is also like reinforced in other areas too, right?
Oh,
So
for sure.
whether it's in school or on the job, or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even religious institutions, and like
Mm-hmm.
there's like so many different areas where it's like you can't ask for help, you need to be independent, you need to
Mm-hmm.
carry your own. It's like,
You need to carry your own.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I remember, I think I'm actually not that I think I know. A few weeks ago, you had my friend on here, Nicole Olsaman. She's
Mhm.
a coach and an author.
Yes, big up
She has a really
yourself,
great book.
Nicole, big up
Big up yourself,
yourself,
Nicole.
hey.
I'm plugging your book. She has a really great book called Courage and Confidence.
Yes.
And in that book, she gives an example
Mhm.
of, she had her son when she was quite young,
Mhm.
and I guess she had an errand to run or something like that, and
Mhm.
she called an older friend, a family friend or a family member, I can't remember which,
Mhm.
and said, can you pick my son up for me, or can you do this for me, or drop him off, or whatever the support was. And the person said, sure, no problem. And um, the person thought they had disconnected the line, and they had not, and the line was still open. And someone else was in the room on the other end, and the other person said, you see these young people, they have these children and they can't take care of them. I know they have to be asking for help all over the place.
Mhm.
And that thing stayed with her for the longest time. And she wrote in the book that she decided to herself, I will take everything on by myself. I'm not asking anybody for help.
Yes.
And it took her years to work through that hurt,
Of course.
right?
Of course.
And so we have to be careful, because in the community,
Mm-hmm.
in the workplace, people get, emotionally scarred when they
100%.
have to ask for help, and we trip them and we put them on their faces, and
Mm-hmm.
people resolve, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not doing that again, right? And so, sometimes in the workplace, when people are like, why are you asking for help, you should know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or in religious institutions,
Yeah.
right? You should,
Mm-hmm.
where's your faith, right? Almost like faith is supposed to mean that you don't need help.
Yeah.
um and we're not meant to be um these lone wolves out there. We're supposed to
Yeah.
be living in community,
Yeah.
connected to each other, the whole idea of the village, right? That's how we're supposed to be. And
Yeah.
not asking for help, not only does it harm us in that it creates um a lack of dependence,
Mm-hmm.
but you know human beings, yes, we're supposed to be connected to each other,
Mm-hmm.
but part of our internal makeup is that we need to feel needed,
Yes.
right?
100%.
And one of the things that I tell my clients all the time is when you say, I am never asking anyone for help, not only are you isolating yourself, but you are robbing your loved ones of the joy that comes when
Yes.
they offer you support,
100%.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You are robbing them of the internal need
Mm-hmm.
to feel needed,
Mm-hmm.
right? When someone can do you a favor, and this is someone who is well meaning, not someone who's going to do you the favor and then check your business behind your back.
100%.
but
Yes.
but when someone is genuine
Mm-hmm.
with offering you that
Oh
support,
man.
take it,
I
right?
remember there was a time when, someone gave me a hallelujah handshake. One of those hallelujah handshake? And I looked down and it was a nice $50 bill when $50 was
Yes,
worth a
was
lot. Right? I
mm-hmm.
mean, $50, if you want to give me 50, I still take it.
We
But
will refuse it.
but back in the
It
day
was
when
worth
it
a
was
lot more
worth a
then.
lot more, like you could really do some good damage at the grocery store. And I looked down and said, no, 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 I can't accept this. And the person said, please
Mm,
do not rob me of my blessing. Take the
mm,
handshake. And he put me in my
mm-hmm,
place. I said, all right, well, okay.
mm-hmm,
Hallelujah, anyhow.
mm-hmm.
Right? And so it's
Yes,
about this like idea of community. Like,
yes,
God knows I needed that $50.
yep, yep,
I was
yep,
a student and I needed that. There was a pride that was within me where I was like, I can't accept
yes.
this.
Where do you think that came from? This pride of I can't accept this.
Oh man. I think there was just so many different layers, right? Like
Mm-hmm,
the idea of like, okay, if you don't have, it means that you're lacking something.
mm-hmm,
There's this internalized shame, right? Like, oh, I
mm-hmm,
should
mm-hmm.
have it all together. Even though when you're a student, really, it's a
Yes,
student life. Even in general, even if you have a job right now, if you have one job, that's not enough right now.
that's not enough.
Everybody has one, two, or at least if they have one, they have four side hustles right now,
Have side hustles. Yep,
And
yep.
so there's really no shame around it, but I feel like there's this internalized shame around, especially around finances and money that
Mm-hmm,
we carry. So I think that was a part of it. And it's just like, oh, how did you know I don't have no money? You there's
mm-hmm.
discernment, but you don't think about
Yeah,
it during that time.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
No,
And so yeah, there's like so many different layers of it. Yeah.
it's a lot of different layers, right?
Yeah.
We feel like asking for help is beneath us
Hmm.
sometimes, right? It is
Yes.
going to expose our lack,
Yes.
right? It
Mhm.
is going to, show that I don't have enough.
Mhm.
Um, you know, does that mean I don't have a good job? Does that mean I don't have any education? Does that
Yeah,
mean what does the other person think of me?
absolutely.
Right? Does the other person think that,
Mhm.
I remember once when my kids were really little, a friend of mine said, I'll come over and clean your house. And I was like, no, no, no. And she was offering to do what she could do.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, she's going to come see my house dirty. I can't.
Mhm.
This sense of pride,
And
this sense of they're
vulnerability.
going to see vulnerability, they're going to
Yeah.
see all my dirty things. And what we don't recognize, what many people don't recognize, and I talk to specifically couples and families about this, is that vulnerability is a glue to relationship, right? This is what when you're vulnerable, the person really sees you,
Mm.
right? They see you with your armor down,
Mm.
right? You are exposed,
Yes.
and you're exposed, and they see all of the guts and all the stuff, and they still want to be with you or be around you or be your friend or be in love with you. That relationship is real. But
Mhm.
when we put up the walls, when your best friend only comes over when your house is spotless, right? It creates this false sense. It creates this false narrative. She really doesn't know me.
Mhm.
She knows me after I've done the 10-second tidy before she comes over,
Mhm.
right? And I'm not saying that your house needs to be a mess every time someone comes over. Like tidy up, little, but But she only comes over when there's no dishes in the sink and my kitchen counter is clear. You know what that can do?
Mhm.
That can create pressure for her.
Yes.
It could say to her, I'm not a good person.
Yeah.
I'm completely untidy because my house doesn't always look like this.
Mhm.
And so when we don't accept help, when we don't expose our vulnerabilities,
Yes.
it can have all kinds of ripple effects,
100%. 100%.
right?
And I think this kind of really naturally leads us into the second part that you mentioned about, you know,
Mm-hmm.
people are afraid because they're afraid of being hurt again, right?
Yes,
There's like a
yes.
reason why these walls go up is because maybe once upon a time, even if it was when you were in kindergarten and you decided
Mm-hmm.
to show them your vulnerability and then they made fun of you or they betrayed your trust and then we just wall up, we're
Yep.
like, you see that? Never
See that?
again,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
then we armor up.
Mm-hmm. We armor up.
Mhm.
And the armoring we think is a good thing. We armor up because we're like, well, I'm protecting myself, right?
Yes.
Um, but and then the other thing too is that sometimes we armor up. Sometimes the armoring is
Mm.
let's say the armoring is valid,
Mm-hmm.
right? You were hurt by this person and you say, I'm not going to be hurt by this person anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to armor up. And let's say you were 16 when
Mm-hmm.
you armored up,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're 29 and you're still armored up.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're dating someone who could be your potential spouse, but they can't see the real you because you're so armored up. And so we have to talk about the 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 the, the strategies that we use and the coping mechanisms that we use
Mm.
and whether or not they're valid in every season.
Yeah.
Because it's not every season and in every relationship that we require protection,
Mm.
right? And so we and so you have to ask
Yes.
yourself, we have to be, you mentioned discernment when you were talking earlier.
Mhm.
We have to, and that's not just for church circles, we have to be discerning. We
Yes.
have to be very mindful of
Absolutely.
who can we let in,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
Who and that discernment speaks to, now who are we going to ask for help?
Yes.
If I need to borrow $200, I might ask my sister,
Hmm.
I might ask my mother, I might even ask Felicia. I'm not going
Yes.
to ask the mail carrier,
Mm.
right?
You don't.
Or
Sorry,
my kid's
Jack.
school bus driver.
Sorry, Jack. Sorry, John.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And so, there's definitely something to be said
Yeah.
for relationships and who gets access to you, who gets access to that vulnerability,
Yes.
who gets to help you, and what different kinds of help do we accept from different people based
Absolutely.
on the relationship that we have with them,
Absolutely.
right? So we have to be very, very careful around that. I might let my best friend in the house while I'm folding laundry,
Mhm.
right? I might not let my boss at the office come into my house while I'm folding laundry,
Mhm.
right? There when people come to your house, only certain people are allowed to. If you live in a two-story home, only certain people are allowed upstairs to where the bedrooms are,
Mhm.
right? Everybody else has to stay downstairs or at the front door,
Mhm.
right? And that your life has levels of access, and
Yes.
so we have to keep that in mind as well
Mhm.
when we are thinking about asking for help, right?
100%. 100.
If you're in medical crisis and you need a kidney, who are you going to ask for that? If you need, um, blood donation, you know what I mean? There are levels to who you're going to ask certain favors of,
Yes.
and who you're going to trust.
Yes.
The other thing as well, not just access based on the relationship, but access based on um, proven trustworthiness,
Yes. Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Because you might have a room full of family, but not everybody in the room is trustworthy family, right?
Mm.
Sorry, family, but that's where it go.
We love you anyway. We love you. We love you.
We love
We
you,
love
but not everybody in the room is
you. Yeah,
trustworthy family, and so
100%.
you might be able to ask your second cousin for a very big favor, and you might not ask your brother for that same favor,
Yeah.
right? And so we have to be mindful of some of those pieces as well
Mm-hmm.
before we, open our hearts up, requesting favors or asking for help.
100%. Even as you were talking, I was thinking about, the term maladaptive coping mechanisms,
Oh yeah.
right? And
Oh
and
yeah.
basically what that means for our listeners is, when we go through something either like traumatic or something difficult, right? We have particular coping mechanisms that make sense in the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we
Mm-hmm.
wall up that, or if we go into our fight, our flight, our freeze, our fawn, in the moment it actually makes sense because our body is actually trying to protect us from what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
But then when the danger has passed, right? If we're still using the same coping mechanisms, it becomes maladaptive, meaning it's not actually serving
Exactly.
us anymore. It
Mm-hmm.
becomes
Mm-hmm.
like, why are we in a fight mode when, someone accidentally scuffs our shoe? Like, that's
Yeah.
not really
And
the
in many
danger.
cases it's harmful,
Yeah, 100%.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then we carry it into other situations, right? And we're
Mm-hmm.
reacting in the same way with sometimes even more intensity than the original situation, right?
Yeah.
And we have to break the cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. We do. We do.
Mhm.
You know, our world is the situations and the circumstances in our world
Mhm.
are not the same as they were 30, 40 years ago.
Yes. Mhm.
Um, and so we have to acknowledge that we cannot do life alone,
Yeah.
right? We cannot do life alone. It becomes too burdensome and it can be harmful to
Mhm.
behave like you can do life alone. Um, the
Yeah.
other thing that we have to ask ourselves is, I often say to my clients, the ones who say, I don't want to ask for help, I say to them, if someone came to you and asked you for help, what would you say? Oh, yes, they can get the shirt off my back,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And so I say to them, what does it feel like when you are able to help someone? Oh, it feels amazing. I want to know that my people are well. You know, how would I
Yes.
feel if I stood here knowing that they needed support and I didn't offer that help? And I said, that wonderful feeling that you are having, this rush to offer support, don't you think that other people would want to offer you that same support, right? Or would want to come to your aid? How do you think they would feel? I had a friend one time, we were very close in that season, and we don't live very close to each other, but at one point we were talking and she said, last week when I was in the hospital for gallbladder or whatever, and I was like, wait, what? Excuse me? What? How am I
What?
just hearing about this now? Right?
Yeah.
Because had I known, I would have gone over, I would have brought food, I would have stayed with the
Yeah.
kid, I would have driven her back and forth. Like, we would have done all the things to make sure that
She was
she
okay.
was okay, right? But she is also from this, she was also traveling that road of feeling that release to ask, not wanting to be a burden.
Yes.
Right? We
Yes.
have to get
That's a
past this I am a burden situation.
yes. Let's talk about that narrative, that negative core belief,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Because it is big and it comes up so often.
Hmm. It's interesting how we think we're a burden to others when we don't think other people are burdens to us, right? We are
100%.
willing to reschedule our day. We are willing to pay a babysitter and drive 2 hours to be a support to someone else.
Yeah.
And then we say, oh, I don't want to ask them to walk me to the end of the street. I don't want to take them out of their way, right? Um, and some of that also can come from this place of worthiness, right? This idea of I am worth someone actually going out of their way for,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in
Absolutely.
many cases, we're not even putting people out of their way, but we feel that. We think
Yep.
that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And again, in many respects, this can come from foundation. This
Mm,
can come from, someone putting you down in childhood or telling you
yeah.
that you're in the way,
Mm-hmm.
or you talk too much,
Mm-hmm.
or you're not as pretty as, or you're not as smart as, and
Mm-hmm.
you take on this thing of I don't have um I don't have value.
Yes.
And because you have this feeling of I don't have value, then
Mm-hmm.
you think that you're a bother in
Mm,
society. You are a
yeah.
bother, even to people who might love you. And
Mm-hmm.
so what do? We small up ourselves,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
Hey, Shanique.
Hey, Shanice, yes, girl. Yes, 100%. We don't give ourselves the same compassion we give others, though we deserve it too. I
Yeah.
love that. I am worth
Yeah.
going out of the way for. Yes, Shanique.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Definitely worth going out of the way for, right? And so sometimes it takes deep reflection and self-awareness.
Yes,
In many
yes,
cases, it takes the support of a therapist to help you unpack all of those pieces,
yeah.
right? The sense
Mhm.
of where is that unworthiness coming from,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Um, I am worth getting the help that I need. I am worth
100%,
asking for it, right? I am
100%.
worth um, someone driving. I remember
Mm-hmm.
one time years ago, my brother lives in the States, and years ago he was here in Toronto,
Mm-hmm.
and we were going somewhere, and he was actually driving. And I said, go this way and go that way. And I actually think I need to make a stop at the supermarket, but let's do that tomorrow. And he said, no, we can do it now. And I said, oh, I feel like I'm going to take you out of your way. And he looked at me and said, Roxanne, we're not walking. I drive, we
That's
I
a good.
drive.
That's a good brother. That's a good brother. Like we're not walking,
Right?
so
I just felt like, well, he's been driving on the road long enough. He's probably
yeah,
tired. That's another thing, right? We're getting into all
yeah,
this CBT, this thing
right,
around these thinking traps where we
yeah,
think we know what the other person is thinking,
yes.
right?
Mind
We
reading.
are not mind readers,
Mm-hmm.
right? We
Mm-hmm.
tell ourselves they're gonna think that we're imposing on them. They're
Hmm.
gonna think, he's too tired. He doesn't want to make another stop. Meanwhile, he's like, I want to drive all over the place. Let's
Yeah,
do the thing.
one
And
hundred percent.
we tell ourselves that we know what other people are thinking, and we really
Yes,
don't.
yeah, one
We
hundred
really, really
percent,
don't.
100%. We have a question from Shanique. How do you get over the fact that you do step outside of your norm and ask, but the support isn't there for you?
Hmm.
Mm,
So sometimes that when the support isn't there for you, it's a learning, right? We
yes,
were
100.
unfortunately it some of this learning comes with a little bit of sting.
Of
It's
course.
like, maybe a child that's in the kitchen for the first time, and they know they shouldn't touch the stove, and they're like testing, and they get a little
Mhm.
burn, and then they're like,
Yeah,
sometimes when the support isn't there for you, you realize that that's not the person to ask for support.
yeah.
Not that you shouldn't ask for support, but you're
Mhm.
asking the wrong person,
Yeah,
right? But
100%.
sometimes when the support isn't there for us, we tell ourselves, I shouldn't ask for support. I'm not asking
Mhm.
anyone for support. When
Mhm.
really, you know, all that situation is teaching us is that that person, um, not only should we not ask that person, or we should not ask that person for that kind of support,
Yes,
right?
100%.
Sometimes it's not
100%.
that the person doesn't love us.
Mhm.
Sometimes, maybe the person doesn't have the money to lend, or maybe they lend someone some money and they got burned, or
Mhm.
maybe they can watch the children, but they can't give them a big Christmas gift, or
Yeah.
maybe they can do us one favor, but not another, right? And
Mhm.
so, what kind of support? This is about trial and error and learning about the people that we have
Yes.
relationships with,
Yeah,
Who can we ask? When can we ask? In what season? And what kind of support can we ask for?
absolutely. Right, when we think about relationships, like I like to think about this, that reciprocal nature of a
Mm-hmm.
relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I agree, like it's sometimes it's so hard when because I sit with clients and they're like, well, I do
Mm-hmm.
XYZABCDEFGHI all the way through the alphabet, right? But then nobody shows up for me, or
Yeah.
nobody, it's my birthday, nobody like says happy birthday, or like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard for them to like to to trust, or they wonder, is it that people love me or not, right?
Here's
Hmm.
another thought that I have. I don't mean to interrupt you, but
Not at all.
sometimes I find, again, with sometimes we think that we can read other people's minds. Sometimes we think they can read ours, right?
100.
And I'll give you an example. I used to feel like I used to hang around some people who were very much like, we don't really celebrate birthdays. We're very chill. We're laid back. I don't make a big fuss. And I used to take on some of that.
Hmm.
Sometimes you're around people, you take on some of their little nuances.
Yeah.
And then I got married,
Hmm.
and my husband would celebrate in a very low key with me, right?
Hmm.
For me.
Hmm.
And I would get annoyed at him. And he was like, "Why are you so mad?" And I said, "You know, I want a big celebration." And
Yes.
he said, "But you've never indicated that. You've never asked for that. You've never suggested that in any way." And then I began to realize I'm not that kind of person.
Mm.
This is who I am. And I realize that I have to ask for what it is that I need.
Yes.
Right. And so
Yes.
sometimes, people talk about love languages. Sometimes I don't buy into all of the love languages, but
Yeah.
sometimes we celebrate people, or we are in a relationship with them in the way that we want for people to be in relationship with us. And
Hmm.
so your friend's birthday might come, and you might take them out to dinner and buy balloons and pop champagne and
Hmm.
all the things. And then your birthday comes around and you sit back and you wait. You sit back and you
Shouldn't laugh so
wait.
so hard, oh gosh.
You're waiting. You're like, where's my surprise party?
Yeah.
Right?
Hmm.
And sometimes we need to. So when Mother's Day's coming around, I'm listen, husband, here's what I need.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
And so,
100.
sometimes people might not do the thing in the way that you would do the thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be an opportunity for communication.
100%. And I love that, because not everyone's perceptive in the same way also,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
sometimes we assume that we're dropping all the hints,
All the hints.
where like we're like, oh, this is such a nice blanket, isn't it so soft? And they're like, oh yeah, I guess it's okay. And we're
I guess
thinking,
it's okay.
and we thought that we dropped the biggest hint, and they're just like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that was a weird
Mm-mm.
blanket, why would she ask me to
Mm-mm.
touch it? It's weird. Right? And right, but we don't actually explicitly say, wow, I would love a blanket like this,
Mm-hmm.
or if
Mm-hmm.
I were to get a gift like this, would mean like the world to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're right, like we, again, like we feel like other people should automatically know. And for
Yes.
some people, you really do need to spell it out for them. And it's
Spell
not
it out. Yeah.
because they don't care, right? It's really, they're just like, it goes over their head. They're like,
Yes.
you did
Yes. You're right. Some people are really susceptible, really perceptive. Sorry, not susceptible.
Yes.
Some people are really perceptive, and they will
Yes.
see you browsing through the bookstore and go, "Oh, I know exactly what she wants," right? And other people,
Yeah.
it's just like they've got too many things going on. They can't
100.
read the signals. And it's not
100.
because they don't care,
Yeah.
right?
They just missed it. And
They just missed it.
yeah, and it might not be, again, like you're right, it might not be out of a bad intention.
Yeah.
So, when we feel like, okay, we're letting our guard down, you know, and then they don't rise to the occasion. And
Hmm.
sometimes, I don't know about your family, Roxanne, but I know I told my family to listen. I love you guys. Uh, but cutoff runs deep in my family. Like, please, okay. I know I'm not trying to share all of the family secrets, but I'm just saying that cutoff runs deep, at least
Yes.
in my family, right? Oh boy, Christmas is coming. I messed up. Okay.
Yes, you have to be in a room with these people pretty soon.
And I really want my oxtail and everything. So
Yes.
let me walk right, But it's so easy for us to get offended,
Mm-hmm.
over sometimes even just a misunderstanding when it could have just
Mm-hmm.
been clearly communicated, you know,
Yes.
and then we
Yeah.
just wall up and we're like, boy, I'm not talking to this person.
Yep. I'm not talking to them. I'm not
Yes,
expressing any need with them.
yes,
I'm not asking for help. I'm not, all the things.
yes,
And relationships die that way. So we
yes.
have to be careful.
Absolutely. Yes, Poindexter 101. He says presence matters. And he also says, or they say, great show. I love the mental health hour. Thank you. Say what you
That's
mean
awesome.
and mean what you
Mean what you
say.
say.
I'm so
Exactly.
glad you love the mental
Exactly.
health hour. You just made my day. Thank
Yay.
you. But absolutely, we have to say what we mean and mean what we say,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that we're afraid to communicate our needs many times,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or we'll talk,
Mm-hmm.
we'll dance around it, right? So rather than
Yes.
saying
Yes.
I want this chair, we're like, why I really want this? Nobody care about me. I really,
No,
how come
nobody cares, right?
no,
We jump to conclusions.
right? How come nobody
Yeah.
don't pay me no mind? Like, wow, I've been abandoned, and it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
but we
Mm-hmm.
never knew you needed the chair. Just say, hey, I need a
Yeah.
chair.
Yeah.
Who can help and pitch in? We pitch in and we get the chair, and it's the end of the day.
To your point,
Yeah.
you said something very, very profound just now. You said,
Mhm.
who can help? Right? Sometimes people do not help because they don't have the capacity to help. And we take that to mean they don't love us,
Mhm.
they don't mean us any good,
Mhm.
they don't want to see us succeed,
Mhm.
they hate us,
Mhm.
all the things, they bad mind, all the things that we have to say, when
Yeah.
sometimes it's just a matter of capacity,
100%. It's
right?
not the
They
season.
don't have the time, it's not the season,
Mhm.
right? They might not have the time, they might not have the resources, they might not
Yeah.
have the manpower, all the things.
Mhm.
And instead of, again, communication goes a long way.
Mhm.
Sometimes they don't know how to say, I'm not able to, or I can't. Sometimes people
Yes.
take that no is a full sentence to heart, right? Can you help me? No,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And the person on the receiving end of that,
Yes.
they see that as rejection,
100%. 100%.
right? And so if you are able to clearly communicate and compassionately communicate and say, actually, I don't have the time in my schedule today, or I don't have the resources over the next
Mhm.
month or
Yes.
so.
Mhm.
Is there another way that I can support you? Or
Yes.
can I circle back in a month? Right? Can we do this on this date instead?
Yes.
Right? Not everything requires a long explanation, but sometimes we have to go beyond just no is a full
Yes.
sentence.
100%.
Right?
100. Right?
Sometimes we do,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And 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 then the person on the receiving end of that, they need to now understand that lack of capacity isn't rejection,
Mm.
it's just a lack of capacity. You can't give what you don't have,
100%. 100%.
right?
Absolutely. And I think that you're right. Like a lot of times people do want to help, right? And sometimes they really
Mm-hmm.
just cannot. And that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. I mean,
It's
like
okay.
if there's a time someone asks me or you, and we're just like, why? Money and coins,
Right.
I have none, but what I have, I'll give to you. Pick up your
What I
bed
have, I'll give to
and
you.
walk.
Exactly.
you know?
Like, I can't ask someone for a ride if they don't drive. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, right? And then
Yeah,
when they say I can't, you vex. Like, what am I supposed to do? Put you on my back?
yeah, right. And if a backache, I can't. But and so it's
Right.
We need to heal up from the moments when we
Yes.
tried to ask for help and it wasn't met the way that we had hoped for it. And it's okay to be
Mm-hmm.
disappointed. And I think that a lot of us we struggle with disappointment, right?
Totally.
And then we just be like, oh, okay, fine. And then we just puff up our chests, we take a deep breath,
Mm-hmm.
but not in a good way. Right? And we're just like, okay, fine, I could do bad all by myself.
By myself.
Right? Then we
Yes.
get into that mindset and then we just decide that, okay, I'm never asking for help or I'll rarely ever
Mm-hmm.
ask for help, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And
Mm-hmm.
then we carry it like into different relationships, like you were
Yeah.
mentioning, right?
Yes.
So we'll
Yes.
carry it into our relationship with our partners. We'll carry it in our friendships. Like there's just so many different layers. And it's like,
Mm-hmm. Our work relationships. Yeah.
100%, right? And you're right. We need community. We actually thrive in community.
Oh, 100%.
We're not meant for this
100%.
individualistic, I can do bad by my,
Nope.
like we're actually
Nope.
so powerful when we get together and we lean on each
Yep.
other.
Yep. Yep. This is why we're so stressed out as a society because we insist on doing everything by ourselves.
100%, right? Like when we get together and we start laughing,
Mm-hmm. It's healing.
it's healing.
Mm-hmm.
And when we feel, cumbersome and overwhelmed, right? Like, and we can lean on another person, it really does
Yep.
feel healing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. We have to get beyond ourselves, like get over ourselves. And sometimes we have to do the thing. Um,
Hmm.
Sometimes we have to ask for help, even if our voice shakes, right?
Yeah.
Um, and if you have young people around you, understand that they're watching you as well,
Mm,
right? And they're learning how to do life through you, whether it's children, grandchildren, godchildren, nieces, nephews, whoever
yeah.
around you, the people who you mentor, they're learning
Mhm.
whether or not it's okay to ask for help, and we want them to thrive too.
Of course, 100%. And you're right. They are watching.
Mhm.
They watch everything.
Everything.
Even when you think they're not watching, and they're watching a show or something, and then it's like, "Oh, I heard that,
Yeah.
mommy." I said,
What you doing here?
"Why you're in the car and you think they're sleeping?" I'm like, "Oh, they're asleep." No, I'm not.
No, they're
I
hearing
said,
your conversation. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
"Yeah, they're watching, 100%."
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
we're leaving when we work on our own puzzle pieces. We're laying a foundation for the next
Oh,
generation.
definitely. We're leaving legacy for them, right?
100%.
You get to decide what kind of legacy you're leaving.
100%. Love Bay family, you hear it? You can ask for help. And if they say no, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
It's
It's all right.
okay.
Maybe they're just not the person to help you with that particular thing.
Right. It's maybe it's not the right person, maybe it's not the right season,
Yeah.
maybe it's not the right thing,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can't, and then you hope for the same. Like when you can't do it, and you say, "Oh, sorry, boy, I wish I could help, but I can't." That they will also understand, and that's a
Yes.
relationship, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%. 100%. And acknowledging when you are able to help and the limitations of your help. That's another thing. We could talk about this for hours. I know we have to go
Honestly,
soon, but
yeah,
sometimes it's when someone asks you for help,
yeah,
acknowledging your own capacity
yeah,
and not overextending yourself beyond your capacity, telling them you can do something when you can't, and letting both of you down in the process,
mm-hmm. 100%,
right?
100%.
Yeah.
You, girl, yes, you have to honor your capacity.
Yeah.
If you don't have it to give, you just don't have it to give, and that's okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
okay.
Whether it's financial capacity, energy wise,
Mhm.
space in your house, all the
Even
things,
emotional capacity.
emotional capacity, all of it. right?
Yeah,
Having the it requires awareness.
100%, right?
It requires awareness because sometimes we're so caught up with the other person being disappointed.
Yeah, 100%. But one of the things I love to tell my clients is I want you to be the bigger sister to your inner child,
Love it. Yes.
right? And
Yes. Yes.
if your inner child, this little girl or little boy is saying, "Boy, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm so." Are we gonna be like, "Suck it up, Buttercup"? We're not we're putting stuff on them. We're like, "Come on, let's
Yeah.
go, keep going." No, you're gonna be like, "All right, let's take a little bit of a break, a little rest, and then in a
Mm-hmm.
little while we
Mm-hmm.
can do some more." Right? We'd be kind,
Yes.
we'd be
Yes.
compassionate, but for ourselves, we're just like, "No, man, suck it up, knees up."
Yeah.
Even when you don't have no kneecap left.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Right? A question that's at the back of my mind is we've talked
Yeah.
about these walls, right?
Yes.
How can we encourage our Love Bay family tonight to begin that process to slowly let those walls down? Because it's not going to drop overnight. We know
No, 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 no,
that.
no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a gradual process, as you said, slowly,
Mm-hmm.
right? You um share some of those vulnerabilities, but share the more shallow ones. How do I say that?
Yeah.
So sometimes the vulnerabilities run deep.
Mm-hmm.
You share the ones that are closer to the surface first.
Yes.
So that can be like, instead of sharing your deepest secrets, you can talk about something that happened today. Talk about a silly thing that happened at work,
Mm-hmm.
and see if they laugh at you or if they vilify you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
you test the waters of the relationship. It's like when you're dating,
Yeah.
right? You're not going to, well, I shouldn't say that, but I was gonna say, if you're dating, you're not gonna take home that person on the first coffee date, but to each their own.
Yeah.
But but when you're dating, you test the waters, right?
Yes.
You don't tell everyone all of the family secrets on the first coffee chat,
Yes.
right?
That's true.
You get to know them a little bit. You ask them what they do for work. You
Yeah.
ask them, where do you live, or all the things. And so when it comes to vulnerabilities, you share the less the vulnerabilities that have less at stake,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
And you see how that goes
100.
for a few weeks, for a few months, and see if that person honors that. Because
Yes.
people have to earn, I tell people all the time, people have to earn your vulnerability,
Absolutely.
right? They
Absolutely.
have to show that they can hold it with care.
Hmm.
They have to show that they will not abuse it.
Yes.
They have to show
100%.
that they will not use it to cause you shame,
Yes.
right?
100%.
And so when you ask people to carry the lighter things and they do that with care, then you can trust them with heavier things.
100%.
And once you start trusting them with heavier things, then you can start to let the walls down a little at a time until they are completely in, right?
100%. I
Hmm.
tell some of my clients, I'm like, listen, people could only fake for so long, right? So just
Right.
so test them over a period of time. Don't just
Exactly.
give them your whole wallet on in 2 months. Just
That's
a titration. Just a drop at a
yes,
time.
yes, just a drop at a
Right,
time. Yeah.
until like there's a period of time where you're like, okay, I could really trust it. They have proven the proof is in the pudding. They have shown up for me.
Hmm.
They keep showing up for
Hmm.
me. That's how you build trust, right? Like,
Yes,
I
yes.
won't meet someone at the bus stop and be like, oh, here's my wallet for me. Like,
Mm-mm, mm-mm. The relationship hasn't been proven. It hasn't been tested,
yeah,
right?
right. They could be the most trustworthy person, but really, do I know? Not yet. But I'd be like, oh
Yeah,
wow, okay, well, I found this penny. Is it your penny? Oh no, that's not my
exactly.
penny. Okay, you can
Exactly.
keep the pen. We don't even have pennies anymore. You
Then
can keep the dime. You can keep the 10
on the
cents.
dime.
Right? It's like, okay, oh wow, they were so honest. Okay, all right.
Hmm.
And that's how we
Hmm.
like we see it through their actions and their character.
Yes.
Character can't lie for too long.
Nope. It can't hold the weight of that.
Now we're getting into a
I know
different
the right one.
conversation, but character cannot lie for that long. Like,
No, no,
you start seeing cracks in the paint.
exactly. 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 And then you start to see people for who they truly are.
Yeah.
So people will show you who they are, right? But when they show us who we are, when can't even talk. When they show us who they are,
Yes.
we have to believe them,
100%. Now
right?
we're talking about red flag. Now this is a different episode
We're talking.
altogether.
Listen,
Oh, wait, wait,
all together.
wait.
What happens when therapists get
I
together?
know. We're like, oh, but this connects to this, to this, to this, to this, to
It's all connected, girl. It's all connected.
right? But yeah, I mean, so
Yes.
what we were trying to say, love based families, that we validate your feelings. Of it's hard to
Mm-hmm.
trust sometimes, but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
at the same time that we don't actually need help,
Yeah.
and we can't let some bad experiences just ruin the whole batch, and we throw out the
Yeah.
baby, we throw out the bath water, we throw
Bath
out the
water,
sink, we throw
the
out the
bathtub, everything.
bathtub. We were
Yep.
like, like we have to, take it with a grain of salt. Sometimes it's rough, it's tough,
Mm-hmm.
life is hard. Sometimes people disappoint us and they hurt us, but it doesn't mean that
Yes.
every
Yeah.
person is going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's right. We have to be mindful of
Mm-hmm.
so many things, right? And give yourself grace because
Yes.
we don't know everything and we don't know about everyone on day one.
Hmm.
And so give yourself
Give
grace.
yourself grace. So, it's the holiday season, and there's all the dinners, there's all the
Mm-hmm.
events, there's all the parties, there's all the, you know, what would you say to our Love Bay family tonight when it comes to this topic about asking for help?
I would say that asking for help requires vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
Asking for help requires vulnerability. And if you struggle to ask for help, the exercise for you is to close your eyes, take a deep breath, put your hand on your chest, and ask yourself, your inner self, why is it so hard for me to
Mm-hmm.
ask for help? And wait for the answer to surface because it will. The other
Mm-hmm.
thing that I will say to Love Bay family is if on this busy holiday season, if you are one of those people who you are in the kitchen doing all the things, doing all the prep work, turning the house into a magical holiday place,
Mm-hmm.
and you refuse to let anyone, you know, pick up a pin, you want to ask yourself why. Again, close your eyes, hand to heart, let the answer surface. Why is it
Yeah.
hard for me to accept help?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And let the answer surface. And when the answer does come, then you need to do some journaling on that. And if the journaling is not helpful for you, then in the new year, you find yourself a therapist, a trusted advisor, your pastor, your religious leader, your coach, whoever, but have a conversation around um, difficulty asking for help and difficulty receiving it.
Yes, that is so powerful. All right, you're on the hot seat now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Mm-hmm.
could leave one last thing with our Love Bay family tonight, what would that be?
It would be the statement that needing help does not equate to weakness.
Mm, needing help does not equate to weakness. Why you
Yeah.
drop dumpling in the beginning and dumpling at the end? So there's hallelujah in the middle. Okay,
In the middle. Love it.
I love that.
Yes, yes, yes.
And thank you for everyone who's contributed in the chat.
Yes, I
Thank
love
you
it.
so much, Miriam. Hey, Miriam. Uh, Miriam says, love the subject. We need to hear this. Shanique says, great show, ladies. Much needed conversation. Thank you so
Oh, thank
much
you,
for
Shani.
joining us tonight. We love hearing from you. And so thank you
Mm-hmm.
again. And so, as we come to the end of tonight's conversation and the end of our live mental health hour episodes for 2025, I
Mm.
just want to say thank you. Thank you to the Love Bay family for inviting me in to host the mental health hour. Thank you to, even the mental health our host before, who paved the way. Thank you so much for your faithfulness over the past few years. Thank you for passing me the torch.
Mm.
Thank you to tonight's incredible guest, Roxanne Francis. Girl, I love you more than cook food.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your wisdom, your honesty, and for reminding us that letting people in, girl, is not weakness, it's courage.
Mm-mm.
Right? Your work continues to open doors for so many, for healing, connection, leadership, of which I am a byproduct of, and I love you so much. And we're so grateful that you were able to share your voice with us tonight. To everyone listening, whether you joined us live or you're quietly reflecting after listening on our YouTube channel, or you found yourself nodding along with us tonight, I want to say that we see you. I see you. If tonight's conversation stirred something up, know that you're not alone, right? This is why we talk about these topics. The walls we built often protected us at one time, and learning when and how to soften them is a journey, it's not a demand. So, as you move through the rest of the season and into 2026, I invite you to carry this with you. You don't have to do everything by yourself. Support is not something you earn, it's something you're allowed to receive. So, if you missed any part of tonight's episode, or if you want to revisit the conversation, you can catch the replay on YouTube. Yes. And you could also check us out on all the different channels, including our Love Bay website. Okay. And as always, if this conversation resonates, please share it with a friend, a family member, or someone who you know might need it right now. On behalf of the Mental Health Hour, thank you for your continued support, your trust, and for being part of this community. It has been truly an honor to walk alongside you this year. I'm Felicia, registered psychotherapist and founder of Rooted in Resilience Psychotherapy and Wellness. Please join us in January, where we'll be live again, and we have already this an amazing lineup. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you in the new year. Peace out. Happy New Year.